Welcome back everybody to another video from your people here at TK Stitch. Today we're gonna get a little festive. If you guys can see the design here, Jolly AF. That's what we're gonna be doing on a dad hat today. Now I did run the design once before. I'm not going into this super blind, but I wanted to make sure that the final one would look pretty cool for the video. So I have the first one there. It didn't come out as good as I would have liked. So this second one should be much better. I'll go over the details of the puff in a bit. Not much to it. I did receive some puffs not too long ago from All Stitch. I got black, red, white, and orange. It's kind of what I've been using recently. So today we're going to be using some red and some white. As always, thank you guys for clicking on the video, dropping the like, comments, or subscribing. Especially if you haven't already. So let's get to it. Okay, usually in the comments I get what density I use. That's pretty much it. Most of the time is folks wondering what density I used or underlay. So let's go over that first. The puff is only this. It's a candy cane, and I wanted it to look kind of like have more of like that twisted effect because of the puff. So that's why I'm using the red and the white. Let's go over here. Right now I have it at 0.14 millimeter. Shout out to a few of you guys that have recommended or at least told me what settings you guys use. I think my density needed to be a little higher, so now I'm raising it whenever I am doing puff. This is how it's gonna stitch out. As always, you need your placement stitch. It's gonna be doing the white. I'm not cutting in between these shapes, and then the red. Starting of course from one end of the object to the other end, and then just regular satins. This is going to be red. I only have it a different color so I could put a stop on the machine after the red. If not, it'll just go continuously, but I have to take off the foam. Jolly AF. One of the issues that I had on the first run was that these objects are so tiny that these were ending in points, or they are ending in points still, kinda. So when the machine is embroidering, it embroiders so much in this area, like without the machine even moving, so the thread would break or detect that there was a thread break when there wasn't, because there wasn't any movement going on really. So what I did, which I haven't messed around with much, go to design settings here in hatch 2 and go to remove small stitches. This was at 0.1. Okay. One second. Well, never mind. But so this tip was really sharp. So I'm not sure why it's not making a difference. Probably because I already saved it this way. So I put 0.3, and it removed those really tiny stitches here, and it made it a little bit flatter at the end. So we shouldn't have any thread breaks really. Gotta clean the desk a little bit. I finally got around to cleaning these hats that I mentioned in the last video. It's 12 hats, but they're gonna pick them up tomorrow, so I'll just clean them up and getting them ready to go. As always, I'll be using my 3-ounce Cutaway stabilizer. I'll talk a little bit about this. I've mentioned it once before, but I've gotten this from Amazon. They're pre-cut, which is awesome, because if it's a big design, I'll use one. If it's like something much smaller, I'll cut them in half and just use a piece. So they'll go a long way, and they were pretty cheap. I can't remember how much it was. It was from Amazon, but it wasn't anything. It was actually pretty cheap. So we'll be using. We'll go ahead and use a full piece for this one. I think this is actually the first time that we're doing a puff on a dad hat. If I'm not mistaken, we don't do much of this stuff around here. Well, we work with dad hats a lot, but I mean in the YouTube video, you know. We're gonna center this up. The problem with this hat, what I noticed from the first run, it has really thick stitching here, or like a lot of material. It's really thick, especially on this part here. So when I was running on the machine, the presser foot was getting real close to like this part here that was really thick, and it kind of squished the letter. It might have been on my part not hooping it correctly, so I'm gonna try to hoop it real good this time. I'm not sure I got that right on camera, but I got it lined up with the red line over here. I'm definitely gonna tighten this up and clip it. Whoa. I've also seen people, this dad hat's pretty thick, so it doesn't move much, but you have a thinner dad hat. I've seen people hold it here first. So when you do pull onto one side or the other, you're not pulling the seam and leaving the design lopsided, crooked, slanted. So it's tight, but it didn't move anywhere from here. For the color scheme that I'm running, I do need to use a black hat. I think it's like one of the only colors that the red and white will pop on it. So let's go over the colors and fixing this. I already have it, but so first I have black for the running stitch. I'm gonna stop it. I'm not putting a stop because it's gonna be real quick. I'm gonna stop it, rewind it, and then place the foam. It's gonna do that same running stitch again, but over the foam, and then it's gonna go to the red. No, sorry, it's gonna go to the white with the foam on it. It's gonna have a stop, so I'll take off the foam, go on to red, over the foam, stop again. That's what the OF, the red dot is. It's a stop. Take off the foam, continue on to red again, which is 1, and then white. Luckily, we're not running our washing machine. Make sure that's clipped in right. Okay, here we have the presser foot. As always, line it up right in the middle of the seam, and we'll go as low as we can. So again, I know the machine, like what it'll allow me, which is 1 second. I think I was doing something that I took off the frame limit. So let me turn that back on, because it was just gonna let me keep going, which I don't necessarily want. Okay. So with this machine, I go all the way down till it doesn't let me any go further, and just move it a bit, and that's as low as I could go. I got my 2 pieces of foam ready. Before I leave you guys with time lapse, I'll get at least one of the colors on camera fully stitching out. Okay, so first, that placement stitch, that's gonna let me know where to put the foam. Now, I'm gonna go back, now that I know exactly where I need my foam. I'll go ahead and place it. So no cuts, just gonna jump to the next shape. Camera's gonna die any second now, so I'll continue recording till it does, and then do the time lapse. I'm pretty sure that was super bright and you guys couldn't see any of it, but anyways, here's what we got so far. Before I take off the puff, I'm gonna cut the threads in between, since I didn't have any cuts.
And I just did that so there wasn't like extra strain on the machine. Still like doing a tie in and a tie out on the back of the hat. So all I'm gonna do right now, snip away these extra threads, and I'm gonna pop it back in for the red. It's still a little messy in between the shapes, but that's where the red is gonna fill in anyway, so doesn't or shouldn't really matter. Let's go ahead and get the red going. Here we go again with the wrong color. Something is tripping me up here, but till I figure it out, something here. I'm doing something here. I'm reading it wrong. I don't know, but for now, I'm making it work by putting all the colors in red, because that's what I need next. Again, no jump stitches, or no cuts, I mean. In case I didn't mention at the beginning, the first run I was talking about earlier, I used just white puff, and I wanted to make sure, I wanted it to come out cleaner. So, taking a little extra step to swap out the puff. Alright, I'll worry about getting it cut up well after. I'm just cutting these so when I pull on the puff, it doesn't snag on the actual important parts there. Let's get jolly. Alright. Alright, this is where we had a lot of the mishap right here, but I think we get it cleaned up cool. You get a cool texture. Like each individual part here has a different height, different feel. It's cool. I'm already liking how this is coming out. I'm going to clean it till the end. I'm going to run the rest of it so I can leave it on the time lapse. Meanwhile, I could keep on charging the camera. I'm like recording a little bit, charging, recording, charging, so I want to make sure the last part we could record without issues. Sorry guys, I messed up, or I lost the whole time lapse. My phone, of course, out of storage. So that whole time lapse of this and that, gone. But it's alright, I do have some things to say about how it's stitched out. We'll go over it right now. What do you guys think? Did we nail the effect? Are we happy? I'm happy. The satin's got some messiness to it that I will go over how, if I were to do this again, how I would make sure that I don't get that messiness. Couple things we could do, but we'll go over that at the end. If you guys are interested, stick around. Before we hit it with the heat gun, let's take away all these little threads. Can you see? Look at this. Look at this junk right here. Damn. I don't know what happened. I still don't know. But I'm gonna burn those. Let's get a better picture here. Also push in any areas where the foam is sticking out too much. You're always gonna have some foam sticking out, but you want to push in all the big chunks. Alright. I have to turn off the ring light because that's the connection that I use for the heat gun. There we have it, everybody. Clean. You got your 3D, your texture. Not a bad project. This was just a hot mess from the beginning, so not much I could do about it. On the next one, I'll just make sure it doesn't get all jumbled up with the wrong colors and all that. So let's go over these little issues here that are so annoying to see. So pretty much what I see happening is these areas where the underlay sticks out, it's pretty much just in these really thin parts of the satin. Here, same place here, same here, on the A and the F. Okay, so what's happening is I have way too much underlay in these sections. I have an edge run and a zigzag. So that's perfectly fine for these parts of the thicker satin, but on these thin areas, it's still, even though it's so thin, it's still gonna do the edge run, it's still gonna do the zigzag. So all the underlay just gets squished in. By the time that the satin goes over it, like, it just pretty much comes out the sides. So with a design like this, what I would do next, or the next time, I would just do probably a center run. And so I just have this run here and increase the density a little bit. Or if I want to keep that underlay, I would probably put up, it's right over here, not sure if you can see, there's a tab for pull compensation. I would put that up. Right now it's an 8.008. I would go to maybe 15, and it makes everything thicker. The underlay stays the same. The underlay does not go any wider. It doesn't go any thicker. It stays the same. What goes wider is the satin on top of it, so it would cover the underlay more comfortably and it wouldn't stick out. I almost forgot to show you guys the first one that I did, but here it is. Since I use the same white color puff, the jump stitches of the red are all over the white, which makes it hard to cut into because the thread is so tight. So, and then on top of that, you get white foam sticking out of the red. So that's why I wanted to redo it. It's not bad, but it would take a little bit longer to clean, and it's at the end it still wouldn't be as clean as this one right here. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, go ahead, like or comment, subscribe if you haven't. That's it. Deuces.